is a part of the statistics toolbox. It doesn't come with base MATLAB. So if you're really looking into statistical applications, dataset might be more advantageous. Okay, let's see. Is it possible to fit more than one curve in the curve fitting app? Okay, the curve fitting app lets you create multiple sessions, so you can create as many curve fitting, as many curves as you want. So you are not restricted to just one curve at a time. You can have multiple curves in the same session. Okay. The other question I see is, do we need a particular toolbox to create a script that could be run by a user that doesn't have MATLAB? Well, I think Bonita covered this in her presentation. If you would like to share your MATLAB application with users who do not have MATLAB, then MATLAB compiler is a product that can create standalone executables. On top of MATLAB compiler, you have other additional products depending on what you would want the end product to be. If you would like to create an Excel add-in, then MATLAB Builder EX would be the product. If you would like to create a standalone Java object, then we have a product for that. Okay. Another question is the curve fitting capability you showed available in the standard MATLAB package? The curve fitting app does not come with basic MATLAB. The curve fitting app is a part of the curve fitting toolbox. So it's additional toolbox apart from MATLAB. The next question is variance, min, max capabilities. Are they available in the standard package, or do I need to also buy the statistics toolbox? If you're looking for basic statistical capabilities, for example, finding the minimum or the maximum, average, mean, mode, these basic capabilities are available in MATLAB. You do not need other toolboxes. But if you're looking for more advanced features such as regression, linear regression, nonlinear regression, bootstrap bagging, and so on, then statistics toolbox would come into picture because then it offers more advanced functionalities. So if you're just looking for basic statistical capabilities, basic MATLAB does have some of them. Okay. The next question is, what are the different kinds of files I can work with in MATLAB? Today you saw an example of how you can bring in data from an Excel file into MATLAB. Now, there are different file formats that MATLAB gives you the opportunity to work with. I would suggest going to our help documentation and searching for supported file formats. What this does is it gives you a page which lists the entire, all the file formats that we support, and we also give you ways as to how to bring in data from those files into MATLAB. Examples would be images, Excel files, text files, binary files, audio files, video files, and so on. So that page is pretty extensive and it lists all the files that you can work with. Just search for supported file formats in the help documentation. Okay. Can you only share the app with the same version of MATLAB that it was created in? The answer is no. It depends. So for example, if I create an app which has functionality that was available in previous releases of MATLAB, then users with previous releases of MATLAB can use it. But if I use a functionality that was just available in this release, the newest release, then users who are using the old version of MATLAB might not be able to use it. One more thing to note is if I am using signal processing capabilities and my user does not have signal processing toolbox, then they would not be able to use their app. Okay. Other question is, can the second user, the receiver of an app, choose to edit the code? The answer is yes. What apps allow you to do is they allow you to easily package all your code into one single file and then give it to someone else. When you install an app, MATLAB automatically unpackages or unzips those files, and then they are available for the user to edit at their leisure. So you can view the code and edit them at the same time. it would be as any regular MATLAB file. The next question is, how do you run C code in MATLAB? We do offer the capability of running your C code in MATLAB. What you do is, using the MEX option, MEX as in MEX, it stands for MATLAB executables. What we do is, when you use the MEX command, we create a wrapper around your C code so that you can run your C code inside MATLAB. It is a basic MATLAB functionality. You would not need any other toolbox to do this. So you can run your C code in MATLAB seamlessly. Okay. The other question is, does MATLAB run on other platforms in addition to Windows? Is the compiler able to build a binary file that would run on other platforms too? I see there are two questions here. Let me answer the first part of it. Just MATLAB installation will run on Windows, Linux, and Mac. Now, which versions are supported? You can find that out on our website. Depending on the release of MATLAB, we support different operating systems. Now, as far as the compiled application of MATLAB goes, we do support compiled applications that can be executed on Windows, Linux, and Mac. The only thing to note here is, if you are on a Windows machine and you compile an application, that application can only be executed on a Windows machine. If you would like to build an application for a Mac machine, you would have to compile it on a Mac machine because they are OS dependent. Okay. On that same lines, we have another question which says, are apps shareable across system architectures, 32-bit versus 64-bit? If you can run your application, or if you can run your MATLAB code on a 32-bit operating system and a 64-bit operating system, then your compiled applications and your apps will also run the same way. Now, the thing to note here is, if you have compiled apps, such as if you are doing MEX, or if you are using capabilities which are just for 32-bit machines, then those would not run on a 64-bit machine. So in general, they should work. They should not have a problem, but there are a few edge cases. Other question is, are all the features you demoed today available in the 2011B version of MATLAB? If people are using, or if you are using an older version of MATLAB, you might see the MATLAB we use today may look a bit different to you. So in 2012B release, that is fall of last year, we changed the interface of MATLAB. The functionality remained the same, but the way you interact with MATLAB changed. The reason is we wanted to make our features more visible to customers. Now, whatever capabilities you saw today are available in the previous versions. The only thing that is new would be the MATLAB apps. So MATLAB apps is a new capability that came out in 2012B. So that might not be available, but statistical commands, the curve fitting app, all of them are available in older versions. It's just the way you would call them or the way you would execute them might be different. So there might be a different button you would have to click to get that app. Okay. Okay. On the same lines, can someone running an older version of MATLAB still make use of an app obtained from 12B? Unfortunately not. If you are using an older version of MATLAB, you might not be able to install or uninstall an app. But what you could do is you could still get the files from the user as they are and then run them in your older version. If there are no new features that have been added and if it uses previous releases capabilities, it should work. So you might not have an app, but you would still be able to run those MATLAB files. Okay. Okay. I think that's done. Is Similink included in the base license? Similink is another product which is independent of MATLAB. So you have your MATLAB and then you would purchase a Similink license to run. So Similink does not come with base MATLAB. It's a separate product. Okay. Um, we have one question that I answered, but I would just like to reiterate. Can we compile a standalone application for Mac platforms? The answer is yes, as long as you compile it on a Mac machine. The other question is, can MATLAB pull data from a SQL or SQL database? The answer is yes. So we do have the database toolboxes, the database toolbox, which allows you to pull in data from different databases and write data back to different databases. How to manipulate videos? We do have the computer vision system toolbox that can work with videos. So it's specifically made to manipulate and create videos, and it also includes some image processing capabilities. Is there a way to search the online support for features, functions specific to my older version? The answer is yes. If you have a MathWorks account, you can access our documentation for all releases. So not only just the current release, but all previous releases as well. So all that documentation is online. So if you just go to our documentation link and say previous releases, and if you have a MathWorks account, you would be able to access them. So you can search online for specific functions that you are interested in. Okay. The other question is, do you provide any parallel computing solutions? The answer is yes. We do have the parallel computing toolbox, which allows you to make use of your multi-core or multiprocessor machines. It also allows you to interact with GPUs if you're working with GPUs. And if you have a cluster that you would like to make use of, it allows you to connect with your cluster and perform operations there as well. Okay. All right, let's see. One more is, apart from data analysis, can I access data from a microcontroller? The answer is yes. The data acquisition toolbox allows you to pull in data from data acquisition boards. Now we do support an extensive list of boards which is available online for you to review. So if you go to our website for data acquisition boards, there is a list of boards that we support, and you can find that information. Okay. Oh. Now I see a lot of questions which are specific to particular algorithms. So one of the question is, can I do a particular distribution in statistics toolbox, or is there a particular algorithm in signal processing toolbox? If you have specific questions about those toolboxes, I would suggest contacting technical support. We do have a technical support staff, and if you have a valid license, then we are available for you to answer any questions. Now, the reason technical support is good is because if you think something should work and it's not, or if you are looking for capabilities that you are unable to find online, do contact us and we can help you out with resources. One more thing I would like to point is, you can ask us for a trial, a 30-day trial. So if you think that this may be useful and you are still trying to see if it fits, you can ask us for a trial. It's a free trial for 30 days. You can play around with your own data and see if it works for you. And with the 30-day trial comes access to our support staff. So in those 30 days, if you have questions specifically for your application, you can contact technical support as well. I think we have a few more minutes, so I'll go over and answer a few more questions, 2 or 3 maybe. The question is, are 2012A toolboxes usable in 2013A, or do new licenses need to be purchased? So you cannot, well, let me see, how do I answer this? Let's say you have a 2012A toolbox. Now, if you would like to use the 13A toolboxes, you do not have to buy them. What you would have to do is you would have to upgrade them to new